Peter Obi rejects coalition for power. Atiku pipo don vex. Peter Obi don tok am clear, him no go join any coalition just to grab power. Dis him statement don scatter everywhere, especially for Atiku Abubakar supporters wey no happy at all. Some dey tok say Obi dey spoil position chance, say without strong alliance dem no fit challenge ruling party, but im supporters, Obi supporters dey hail am, say na sign of integrity, say im no be politicians wey go do anything just to enter power. The big question be say, dis move go make Obi strong for 2027 election or e go affect im chances? Im go later change im mind if politics change. So for dis video, Mayogun Diary go break everything down for una. Wetin Obi talk, how Atiku camp react, and wetin e mean for Nigerian politics. Drop your comments, like, share, and subscribe for more updates.
Brethren in the temple of truth, dear Templars, I believe you have read the caption of the broadcast, the description of the broadcasts. Now, like the broadcast, share it to invite your friends, your not so friendly friends, your frenemies, the enemies that pretend to be your friend. Those are the people called the frenemies. Tell them that Mayogun today, Mayogun is live with another interesting episode. And if you have done that already, thank you. Now sit back, okay? Relax while I unpack the the package for tonight. It is also loaded and it is political. On Mayogun's Diary, political. It's politics. So tonight, we are taking a dive into the exchanges between all the political camps in the contraption called Nigeria. The first person to steer the hornet nest is Peter Obi. And since yesterday, in a short, interview, it seemed that he has riled the SPV boys again. The Atiku's online alimajiris. But before we get fully into it, let me give you a bit of, proviso, right? And that is, in Nigeria today, the most prominent and the most active political base as an opposition is the base of the obedient. Give it to them. You may not like them. Of course, they are the true and the realest disruptors. From 4 people tweeting in the room to a national threat to the national criminals in that contraption. And there are those who don't like them because they don't like them for one thing. Why was Peter Obi the beneficiary of the anger of this majority of Nigerians who have formed the real opposition? Because in Nigeria, except during elections, politicians are friends. And I'm talking about not just like they are friends, okay? They are in the same camp. Usually after elections, politicians from the opposition party will begin to join the main party, the ruling one, to share the spoil of war, which is the spoil of election, rather. However, we know they give shishi, we know they collect shishi camp. The camp of the tired, angry, frustrated, disappointed, dejected, traumatized, brutalized, bullied, abused Nigerians who camped in a camp called the obedient camp. In their last election, they were declared third, even though majority of them believed that Peter Obi actually won the election. However, they have remained very, very consistent. They have remained very, very active. And they have remained with Peter Obi. While those who are also Nigerians, but they are SPV boys, these are young men who have somehow, right, submitted their life ambitions, their life purposes to the cash and carry of PDP and Atiku and their gang. So they are like the first sworn enemies of this obedient. The Ronukus, on the other hand, they are not many, but they are very loud. Their last election showed that as much as they are so loud, they are very few. They do not even have the number to make anybody press idiot without their, their compromised INEC. Again, using facts now, all right? Not just emotions, okay? Indeed, before the 2023 charade called elections, the main opposition to APC in Nigeria, they are Nigerians. I'm talking about the victims of bad governance in Nigeria. Starting from the 2020 EndSARS protest, the rage and the anger, especially when they were told, if they were not comfortable with the way APC was running Nigeria, they should go and form political party and contest election. Now, they took it personal. So, Peter Obi inherited that, give it to him. And normally, after election, like I said, everybody just go back to their lives. They just kind of like face their lives and until the next one. There is no real, there's no real visible opposition per se. And that is why, if you want to be honest to yourself, you watching me right now, you will know that these obedient guys, they remain the existential threats to everything APC or PDP represents, especially APC. Sometimes you'll be wondering that, in 1999, it was Obasanjo Olufalaye, right? Nobody remembers who was the third. Who came third in 1999? I don't remember the person. In 2003, it was Obasanjo and Bukwari. I don't remember who came third. Do you? In 2007, it was Yaradua versus Bukwari. Okay, I remember who came third. It was Atiku. And in 2011, it was Jonathan and Bukwari. I kind of remember who came third. It was Ribadump, right? Then in 2015, it was Bukwari, Jonathan. I can't remember who came third. In 2019, it was Atiku and Bukwari. I don't remember who came third. Oh, you see this 2023, it will go down like in history as the most controversial election that, kept Nigerians more divided. And every day, the camps of, for example, the camps of Tifnumbu, it's like, if you want to trigger them, okay, or put it this way, they do not actually really exist without pointing out Peter Obi this, the obedient that. So this obedience remains the existential political threat to the point that the APC are so worried of this Obi that they are afraid that his utterances, whenever he criticizes them, right, they are afraid that his utterances could trigger his base and that could lead to the breakdown of law and order in Nigeria. They are not as worried of Obi as they are. So they are not as worried of about Atiku as they are of Obi. I'm trying to kind of be real here now. All right, this is their politics in that place. Enough that some people feels like if Peter Obi is touched by Tifnumbu and his gang, that it may actually trigger something. Again, people believe that. So, while others believe that, in fact, it was the division between the PDP, which is Obi, Atiku, that gave credence to the Tifnumbu's rigging and emergence. And the Atiku's boys, the SPV boys, they are never going to forgive Peter Obi and the obedient. If you are a very active person online, you will understand all of this I'm telling you right now, okay? From the impression that Peter Obi, right, or the obedient, the obedient, right, they were just 4 people tweeting in a room. They are irrelevant to what later played out in 2023. That then puts Peter Obi and his obedience, right, in a very good stead, that whoever cuts them believes that he is cutting the big fish politically. Now that they are talking about coalition for 2027, there is this belief, not just from in fact, this belief of coalition is not even coming from Peter Obi or his obedience. This coalition idea is coming from the same SPV boys, special purpose vehicle. That's what is called SPV. The Atikus, the Articulators, the articulated mugus, the articulated morons, young boys that have mortgaged their own future for political peanut, for political crumbs, like those who are also running after the roads in APC. These guys were all over the social media pre-2023, telling everybody who cared to listen of how Atiku had 11 million votes in the bag. How Atiku, right, was, how Atiku brought Peter Obi to political limelight. Then after the 2023 charade, they somehow simmered. However, they loathe disobedience so much. So the taunting of one another, the taunting of each other online never ceased. So then they started the conversation about coalition. Opposition should come together. We should come together so that we can remove Tifnumbu. Now the problem is that the Syria contester, Atiku, still want to contest again, right? Again, like I said, the articulators, the articulated mugus, the articulated frosters, right? They didn't care that a Fulani man from northern Nigeria was completing 8 years. All they care about was power. That for them to return to power, it must be another Fulani man from northern Nigeria, and that must be Atiku. All right. So the desperate Atiku, it was the desperation of Atiku that brought Nigeria to this state. So don't forget that. In 2014, right? Having felt like, who the hell was Jonathan? It's somebody from Niger Delta, from Bayelsa. That Providence pushed him to become president, right? Now he is the leader of PDP, where I am, So that was what led to the machination of destroying PDP that gave them whatever, political clout they all have, right? And I think they promised him that it was Tifnumbu and Korai, that if he joined them to chase Jonathan away, all right, there will be a chance for him to be the next president. So he was not, he was not concerned in destroying that same PDP then, only for him to get played. Now, he couldn't wait for Jonathan to complete his own second term then, right? Because he felt like the power must return back to the north. Unfortunately for him, unfortunately for the schemers, it was Bokwari they chose. So that was how he missed out. Since then, he has become a Syria contester. He just want to be president. It's just all about returning to power. It's about the power. I have to get that power like a weekend. Give me power, give me power, give me power. It's never about Nigeria. No matter how much no matter how much they act or pretend, it is never about Nigeria. I mean, you can pretend to some extent and pretend that, it's about the people and the rest of that. But when you look at the desperation of Atiku, that brought Nigeria to this state, that gave Nigeria to APC, so what all of you are suffering today, right? His desperation is still pretty much like like somebody on steroid. So most of these SPV boys, the articulators, they are southerners. To them, they want to be special advisor to the president. They will prefer to become PA, SA on social media. They are okay with that. However, the only stumbling block is this OB. So they said that in 2022, was it? Yeah, 2022. When it was a chance for them to actually really work something called the coalition of opposition, Atiku's interest came to play again. Where the guy that looted River State to fund PDP in the absence of Atiku also got played. In fact, before Wike got played, This Peter Obi, the man that is talking about economy, talking about, all these nice ideas. They said he had no money. He had no money to actually win any primary election against Atiku, because having no money in this regard simply means you must have enough money to bribe delegates who are the ones empowered to choose who will be the candidate of a party. So eventually they chased him out. So the SPV boys went all around to denigrate him, right? To kind of like mock him, laugh him, and the rest. So when after 2023, right, and they realized that, man, it could have been a different ball game. So they started the talk of coalition again. We need to come together. But for the SPV boys, Atiku must be the candidate, because according to them, for power to return to them in PDP, forgetting about Wike is still there. For power to return to us, it's all about power. Yeah. The 2027 charade must be led by Atiku. And I think this was yesterday, when Peter Obi himself was accosted after a meeting that he had with his obedient guys, he was asked that, listen, we have been hearing about coalition of people coming together to remove Tifnumbu. Coalition. And the guy was like, listen, I am not interested in any coalition that is all about grabbing power. If the idea behind coming together of opposition is just to grab power, for people who have lost out of the power sharing and all of that, then I am not interested. I'm not part of that. Now, this is a very simple statement, in my own opinion. But if you have seen the reactions of the Atiku's boys instead, or more, you will think Peter Obi actually shot Atiku on the street of Oka with a live bullet. They have been taking different rhetorics since then, in which, like I said, if you are not online, if you are not very active online, especially on Twitter, X, what I'm saying to you right now may just kind of be sounding like, okay, what are you trying to say? So they have resorted back to the status quo. Stuff like, Atiku should just forget about this guy. He's so full of himself. We should just go and talk to other opposition party that are ready to form coalition. What nonsense! Did he think that he himself can go it alone? I was like, it's a very simple one. Is your coalition about taking power, like they did in 2015, which was about just grabbing power? It was never about Nigeria. It was about these individuals, right? Except for those who lost out, right? Nigeria's economy was doing not bad. Nigeria wasn't like great. It wasn't this horrible. Now, with what APC has done in the last 9 years, right? But they all came together. They made you realize that the insecurity, right? The economy, they were kind of like a push all kind of agenda, and it was all just to grab power. Now they grabbed the power only to make mess of the entire country. More people get slaughtered. More people kidnapped. Terrorism became an industry. The same terrorism that triggered a lot of you. That you would, if you were allowed to actually like lay your hands on Egbere Jolantan that time, you would have torn him into pieces, into shred. Because you felt like the way Nigeria was going, Nigeria will soon become like almost Somalia. Now you are worse than Somalia. APC destroyed Nigeria economy, destroyed Nigerian industries and what have you. And now the energy that you had in 2014, 2015 of your one Nigeria, the energy is now dead. So if people are now like, they've been out of power for 9 years, you get? Now it's all about we need power. We have to take power from Tifnumbu, which is practically what is going on. When you listen to apart from all of them agree, kind of speaking like Nigeria is worse now, the situation, ask them what they intend to do different. Ask them what they intend to do differently. That is where you are going to realize that there is no substance. There is nothing other than they just wanted the power. Some will tell you, you get? Now it's all about we need power. We have to take power from Tifnumbu, which is practically what is going on. when you listen to apart from all of them agree, kind of speaking like Nigeria is worse now, the situation, ask them what they intend to do different. Ask them what they intend to do differently. That is where you are going to realize that there is no substance. There is nothing other than they just wanted the power. Some will tell you that, for example, Boko Haram was so nepotistic that he only filled the whole government with Fulanis. Today, others will tell you that, look at Tinubu, he's been filling the whole government with his own people, Yorubas. And then they will talk about, the Nigeria. Give us what you have in stock. What you think you're going to do differently? The human rights abuses, the killings, the terrorism. Define what you are going to do differently. They can't, per se. If you pay attention, it is all about how to grab the power, how to return to that power. And some of them who have been collecting gig, they call it gig in Nigeria, political gigs, we need to recruit people. For example, if you want to be an Atiku supporter, right? We can recruit you so that you'll be collecting gigs. They'll be giving you some money every month to buy data and be pushing agendas on social media. If Peter Obi is not going to come and do coalition, it is better for Tinubu to continue. Of course, it's not like you can do anything about that. Right? So, Obi himself, now, is not like too kind of like a, different per se when it comes to, but he's been clear enough. According to him, if the opposition, right, if they are not ready, like in your terms of coalition, number one, you must start talking about, like enforcing God's self. You must start talking about the possibility of a new constitution, the solution of a INEC, where, putting together a new electoral reform, all these things, and then demanding that any form of rigging whatsoever will be rejected, and such election will never be accepted. When you want to have a coalition of opposition, you must kind of lay out your terms. Your terms in the sense that you must be ready to go on coalition course with the people in power. But if it is all about let's come together, let's go and all of that stuff, it is just pure waste of time. And according to the guy, Obi himself, he is not desperate to want to be president, even though like he wants to be president. Now we have heard that indeed he is actually going to contest in 2027. And to the Atiku, Obi contesting separately in 2027 is just a sort of like a clearance for Tinubu to continue. And with that, they will not forgive you, the obedient. And the obedient themselves, they're like, yeah, fine. If Obi doesn't become president, let Tinubu continue as well. If you, the Atiku, believes that it is only Atiku, right, that can defeat Tinubu with the help of the obedient, whereby those who have been out of power, probably almost out of money, they're needed back on so that they can continue wherever the APC Ebekebe stops. You see, now this is the contention between all these camps. It's interesting to kind of see, right? But let's start with this. What Obi said that triggers them.
What is important? Let's discuss Nigeria. Whether we are going to do coalition or not, let's talk about the future of the country. Because often we abandon the country and what we need to do, talking about power grab. I'm not interested in any coalition that is for purpose of taking power. It is about discussing Nigeria. How do we care about securing Nigeria? How do we care about the common person in Nigeria? How do we care about our children being in school? That is the most important thing for now. That's what we need to remove. Because what you're doing is that you're encouraging stealing of public money. Because if I steal it and use it to win an election, then I get all the powers and everything, including immunity, not to be prosecuted. So we must stop it. That is what is driving this.
So you get that? So it didn't see anything bad. honestly, you did not see anything really like, oh, did this hear something bad? Right? He is the one who has met with some of these guys. He's met with Bala Muhammad. He has met with Atiku. He has met with some of these guys who are supposed to be the arrowhead of opposition, Abi. So if he is not convinced that these guys have any interest of Nigeria at heart, so you that is just their vuvuzela, especially those of you that they have to give money to go and push agenda on social media. I mean, I can give it to these obedience because it's fact that they are not hanging around to be given money so that they can be shouting Obi, 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 Obi. You all know that. You may not like them, all right? Which is fine. You may not like them. But 100% of those who are behind Peter Obi, they are not hanging about, okay? Waiting for money to be shared to them so that they can go and push agenda on social media. But with that same thing cannot be said of you, the PDP lackeys. Majority of you will not even like a push Atiku if you are not given money. Majority of you. So your disappointment, your anger is because after being given money to push agenda on social media, you are waiting to be appointed as SAs, PAs, and what have you. And then you are projecting on this obedience as well. You are projecting your misery, your miserable existence on them. Right? You are more or less like thinking that they are also doing this, they are better Nigeria, one Nigeria, for their selfishness when they are not. They may, in my own opinion, they might be a little bit gullible when it comes to the political arrangement of that contraption. Them believing in this one Nigeria to somebody like myself is coming from the place of total ignorance, which is excusable. It can be forgiven, right? Some of us were once there, believing that if we do this, if we do that, maybe Nigeria will be better. Now we know better. But there are those who still believe that they can make Nigeria better, especially the obedient. But we know majority of you in this, your APC, PDP, you crumb eaters, crumb chasers, ass lickers, all righters, voluntary slaves, ombud slaves. Some of you are actually doing it because of what you are going to get. Personally, political, the number one employer of labor in Nigeria right now is politics, where everybody is trying to become PA to the councillors, to the chairman, to PA to an SA, and all of that stuff. While these obedients themselves believes that they are like fighting for a better Nigeria. That if Nigeria is better, it is to everyone's benefit, right? So stop projecting on them. You don't have to like them, all right? Even though, I like them. The reason why I like the obedience is because they are so innocent. Seriously, politically, they are so innocent, and they are so naive as well. You see, that naivety and innocence combined is the reason why they strongly believe that if they fight, Nigeria will be better. Nigeria can never be better. But the reason why I like them is because when they felt the first disappointment, they were waiting on Obi to tell them what to do. But this time around, right, they seem to have matured enough that if they get rigged again, Obi may not be able to control them. And me, now anything will go scatter everything. Me and the support. That's why I like them. They have been the only base that has remained very consistent. Okay? They are very consistent. They strongly believe in this, and I like it. It is enough to cause katakata once they realized that the system is rigged against them. Sure, you get. So people like us is to encourage them to keep it up. Keep it up. So that's when they tell you that we are going to court again, now Obi go first collect, Abi. But you can't say the same thing of this APC. Majority of you are a bunch of Uluri Burukus, never do wells. Most of the reason why you are supporting those who are destroying Nigeria and those who destroyed Nigeria before now is because you are waiting for your turn. Somehow, if it become your turn tomorrow, they feel appoint you, right? As a social media essay, social media PA. And it is never about Nigeria. It's never about anything good. It's about yourselves. And we know that. That is why they have to mobilize you. They have to give you money. They have to pay some of you peanuts to cause tribal this, ethnic that, religious this, and what have you on social media. You bunch of low life. So don't compare yourselves. Don't compare yourselves to them at all. I have seen some of disobedient raised money, their own personal money. Some of you will wait for stolen money, government money, before you can cause this tribal, this ethnic, that, and then you'll be projecting it on them. You'll be accusing them of what you are really doing. So what did he say? That's kind of like is wrong. Here is another one where Obi said, when he said he should rate this regime, he had this to say.
People must be in charge. It is about serving the people, and that is most critical.
Your Excellency, the issue of these conversations have been on for quite a long time. And
it is now time for us to take action, because you can see where it brought us to. We now live in an insecure country. We now live in a country that is every day breeding poverty. People are suffering. So many people don't know where the next meal will come from. We now live in a system where on Friday, I visited, on day of celebration of education, I visited 15 schools where children don't even have a lab, talk less of one computer. That's what democrats have brought to us. And we must deal with it head on.
how do you think this administration is doing?
It is for you to rate it by going to market. I don't need to rate it for you. It is for you to rate it. If you go to market, then you rate it yourself.
Your Excellency, the issue of political party structures also came up during the discussion.
Very critical.
So now, how...
It's very clear what has been said, that we don't have members. We have owners of political parties. Parties should be, the core of democracy should start from the political parties, where people respect and know that other people exist. It is not a place where you are attacking others for your own benefit. Thank you very much, people.
You get. So, if you have been observing him, he has been speaking in such a, with some bold, sort of, strong languages now. You get that if he wants scatter, may scatter. What I kind of expect further from somebody like him is that he should order mount pressure on this Tifnumbu's illegitimate regime, so that they can make more mistakes, like maybe try to arrest him. So if you want to form any coalition, your coalition as an opposition is to give the ruining party a sleepless night. If Nigeria won't burn, may it burn. You see, that's this threat of your statements can cause problem in Nigeria. We need you to watch your statements, where Tifnumbu and his gang are threatening the opposition. Right? So you can't do coalition with such people. No, you can't. The Tifnumbu's regime and the one before it, they've breeded poverty. They've breeded insecurity, corruption, and these are more pronounced. But they are trying to, they are acting like they are actually helping Nigeria or Nigerians, because the opposition, they believe the opposition is scattered. Let me tell you something, some of you, I have been reading it, it's like a coordinated one. Some of these mofos are saying that the kind of support that Peter Obi got in your 2023 charade is waning now. It's quite good if people feel like that, because the same you felt like it would not even be able to win one single local government area, only for you to have to struggle to rig him out and rig him to third place. Abi? He defeated Tifnumbu in Lagos, 918,000 votes to 151,000. Tifnumbu scored 151,000. So don't let anybody don't let these mofos, don't let them try to kind of like, rewrite the history, so to say. However, the other thing I want to see is the boldness in taking on the entire system himself. He has spent his own personal money. He has spent, on our own last count, he has spent over 800 million naira funding this, these different charity causes and what have you inside the contraption. So you underrate him at your own peril. It is the only base where he is not spending money, giving money to people, right? To defend him anywhere. He is not giving money to people to become his sellers anywhere. People are doing this for him free of charge. And that makes him the most dangerous politician in Nigeria today. And I want to see all of this play out soon. So that, you know me, now my own intention is to see that, everything scatters. And the only way everything can scatter is for these Muslim rogues, APC, Ebekebe, to try what they did in 2023. As much as a lot of us believe that Tinubu would rig himself again, which I am praying for him to do. But the other thing is that some of you will say, nothing will happen. I would think so. And at the same time, I don't want to believe so. So if you're obedient watching my Ego's Diary Politico, I may kind of be contributing into radicalizing you ahead of that time. Because we're not to scatter, everything has to scatter before anything can kind of like settle. We're not to scatter, blow up, burn down. And it's going to be the actions of those who believe that they have the power and they can do whatever they want. Right? So don't get it twisted. So at the end of the day, the Atiku scam, who initially, by the way, they were plotting to start a new political party. Did I tell you that? Yeah, they wanted to start a new political party. But I think even if they tell you that Peter Obi is not relevant, all of them can go ahead and start something without him. Have you noticed that? Yeah, they want him to be part of it. They want you, the obedient, to be part of it before any coalition can actually make any sense. Without Obi and his obedience in any coalition, there is no coalition. Do you understand that? Yeah, that's what they say. That's what I kind of see in the reactions of the Atikulutas in the last 24 hours. They are so angry. And I was wondering why, but I kind of don't know why now. You know? In that same Abuja, you won't believe it, or you will believe it because I'm telling you, right? El Rufai, do not little finger, including the man that started the movement for Tinubu's presidential journey, Kayode Fayemi. Look at these guys. They were in Abuja yesterday, where they had a kind of, meeting. At that meeting, El Rufai, the used and dumped El Rufai, was talking about the disappointment of his disappointment in APC. According to him, APC is now led by illiterates. And the leadership in Nigeria is now filled with illiterates. What are you trying to say? What are you trying to do? El Rufai, what do you mean?